Yeah, hello, good day everyone. Today we are going to do something excited. Actually, I was checking a task that is making a names game in Python. What the names game is, I will let you know about its intro, but for now, I was going to code it, so I decided to record it as well, so then I can upload it on the channel and you people also can get an idea of how to do a names game in Python. So what's the names game does? Firstly, in this game there are three players. Two of them will be real players like me and my friend and anyone playing the game of the computer, and one will be the computer itself, which will be working on artificial intelligence. So what we are going to do here, we are going to simulate a NIMS game. And NIMS game, what the NIMS game does, it let the first player to choose how many stones he want to throw in a game, and then every player on its turn can pick 1 to 3 stones. Like someone can pick someone can pick two, and someone can pick 3 stones. And the player who picks the last one stone, the player who picks the last stone is the winner. Either he picks 1 stone, picks 2 stones, or picks 3 stones. So for this game, what we have to do, let me tell you how do we make the logic of a game. So starting from there, what we have to do, we need to first create the variables. We need first of all we need a variable that can store the number of stones. So let's create a variable num of stones, giving the meaningless names or meaningful names, sorry. Let me initialize it with 0 for now, but we will get the input from the player actually to initialize the number of stones. Secondly, what we have to do the next, we have to create 3 players. So for 3 players, I will just create a variable turn that will contain 1, 2, or 3. So it will be showing us that 1 is the player 1, 2 is the player 2, and 3 is the player 3. And just for my understanding, I will turn that turn 1 is equal to player 1, turn 2 is equal to player 2, turn 3 is equal to computer. So what now we have to do, we need to keep the game playing until a certain condition occurs, and the condition is that the last stone is picked up. And so for that, let's create a flag, is game ended. The boolean variables, we always start with is or are, like a questioning variable that shows that it is actually a boolean variable. So let me initialize it with false, like game is not ended yet, but when we will met our desired condition, we will set it to true, then it will show us that the game is ended. So let's create a loop that will keep playing the game. So while is game ended double equal to false. Like until the game is not ended, we will keep playing the game. So what we have to do next, turn 1 is player 1, okay, and the player 1 will choose the number of stones. So num of stone is equal to int input, enter the number of stones to start the game. So player 1 will enter the number of stones actually, then we will store it into the number stone. So just to be on the safe side, I converted it to integer so it can consider it a string as well. Then next, what we have to do next, we have to play the games again and again. And again, actually we don't need to do this every time, so we will place it out of the loop. This is to be done only once. Then if turn double equal to 1, then it's player 1. In this case, after turn we will make it turn 2. L if, like in other languages we write else if, but in Python we write elif. Turn double equal to 2, then we will set the turn to 3. Else is the last case, when the turn will be 3 itself, we will set it to turn is equal to 1. So this is the basics of the game. So now I will ask each of the player to choose the number of stone he want to withdraw from the game. So what we have to do here is, first of all we will print a message to be easy total, like let me place it in the loop because this need to be done every time, so we don't want redundant statements. So if a statement is going to be used again and again, so I'm putting it inside the loop. So what I will do is print total number of stones remaining. How many stones are remaining total? That is stored in num of stones variable itself. So next what we have to do, ask the player to enter the number of stones he want to withdraw. So I will create a variable stones to make it meaningful. None of stones to withdraw. I'm For now I'm giving it a longer name, but we can go with the shorter one as well, just to be clear I am doing this. So what I will do here, it num of stones to be withdraw is equal to int converting to integer input enter number of stones to withdraw between 1 to 2 1 to 3, sorry. So every player can choose the number of stones between 1 to 3. Okay, that number will be stored in this, and finally what we will do, we will actually subtract the number from this. So we will do num of stones minus equals to num of stones to withdraw. Let's do it this way, this makes it more easier to understand. Num of stones minus the number of stones to be withdrawn from the total quantity. What I am seeing here is that actually this statement is need to be done for all three players. For now I am making it redundant, but later on I will remove it just to make it more clear for you. So player 1, player 2, player 3. I will print some messages to make it more user friendly. Player 1 done. The print statement actually prints the new line itself, so we don't need to append backslash n or new lines here. Player 2's turn, computer's turn. So what here will be done, actually these two statements are redundant. Okay, so but for now let's write it here to make it more clear, more easy. But there are certain ways to do it. We can make a function, put this statement in the function and keep calling that function again and again. So we can remove the actually number of lines here, but that is not our concern now. For now our main concern is to let you know what is the easiest way to do this. Next what we are going to do, we have taken the input. Next we will just match if the number of stones have gone to 0. Like what I have to do here, if num of stones, let's not do this here, but let's do this here for now, of stones is equals to 0, means the game is ended. First of all, what we need to do, we need to set this flag 20, so we don't need to go with this again and again. Is equal to true, is game ended. Secondly, who was the player to pick the stones? It was the player 1. So actually who won the game? Player 1 won the game. Player 1 won the game. Easiest way to do this. So here we go. In Python we don't need to write semicolon actually, but you can do it definitely if you want. This makes it more clear ending of a statement, but it is not required in Python itself. Same statement is to be done at 3 different places. Like for this, player 2 won the game, and for this, computer won the game actually. So what it does, not sure how this game is going to do, but I think it will work. Let's try this. Enter the number of stones. Let me consider that I am the first player, so I chose 20 stones. It says, oh my bad, actually this is Python 3 and it will not let me concatenate the numbers with the strings, but in Python 2.7 you can do it definitely. So let me just do it this way, and the number of stones, nothing is going to be printed, so I think it will not make any other error. So let me set the number of stones to 20. Player 1 is going to play the game. Like I'm the player 1, I am choosing withdraw 3 stones, remaining stone will be 17 definitely. Player 2 withdrawn 1 stone and computer withdrawn 3. Then I withdrawn 2, player 2 withdrawn 3 and computer withdrawn 1. Now here's the actually game begin. Player 1 needs to choose the number of stones, so he actually wants to get the turn again. So if he chooses 3, he don't have any chances to get the turn, so he is choosing 1. Now player 2 stuck, he knows only 5 remains, he can't choose 5, but if he chooses 3, the player 2 will definitely win, and if he also chooses 2, the player 2 will definitely win. So he chooses 1 again. Now here the computer stuck. Computer can't win this game. Computer can win this game in only if he chooses 1, 2 or 3. Player 1 actually have the chance to win the game, so player computer wins the 1. If one player 1 chooses the 3, player 1 won the game. So hope so you got the idea behind this game. Actually this was the easiest way and simplest way of coding to do this game, but there are definitely best practices. We need to create a module named nims game. We can make a class, and class can have variables like is game ended, number of stones and something like this. So there are many other ways to do this. Like if I want to introduce a menu to play this a game again and again until the person wants to do this, what I can do here, I can introduce another player is play is to play again. Let me do until I want to play it again and again and again until the game is not ended, and is to play again double equal to true. What it will help me to do, I will just check at the end of every while if is game ended double equal to true. I will ask the computer, I will take an input choice is equal to input enter y to play again and to exit. So this will ask user to enter y if you want to play again, and if don't, play n or play actually enter n or enter any other letter can work here. So I will check if choice is double equal to y or choice is double equal to y, then the player wants to actually play game again. Actually in Python we need to write for this way. I am actually working in TypeScript, JavaScript, C++, Java, many languages at a time, so sometimes I mix up the variables and the keywords. So in this game is game ended set to false again. We are going to play the game again and again. We will set this just to be safe side. Actually it is true, but I will set it true again. Else, what else will do, it will else will do, actually let's not do this here, it is not needed. Let's do this here. Yes, else will make it false. If will make it false means he wants to play the game again, else it make it false because he wants to exit the game actually. So what we are going to do here, just let's play it again, choosing the least number of stones to end the game in one turn, just 1, 2, and the last player going to choose 2. Computer won the game. Now if I want to play the game, I will enter y. Oh, so you people got the idea what's wrong here. Actually there are no number of stones, so we need to repeat this line again. So what I will do it, this is the condition where we going to play the game again, so I will put it here simply. I will choose the least number of games, and then 1, 2 and 2 are remaining. Oh, computer won the game, I want to play the game again. number of stones are 2 and player 1 won the game. I now choosing with capital Y, so I'm considering if that is working as well. 3 3 and 3, player 1 won the game, and no to exit the game and did. What we can do, we can print something, some kind of messages here like game ended. Thank you for playing. Okay, so another phase of this game is done, but now what we have to do, actually this thing is done. Now what if we have to choose the player efficiently? First of all, the computer is not playing actually its role. The third turn is computer, and computer should do its task itself. We should not choose the number for the computer. Computer should choose the numbers itself. First of all, let's the turn to be decided randomly. So what we do in Python, like you, first of all, the best programmer is the one who do the Google best, who do the searching best, who do the Stack Overflow, who knows the most common sites of the programming, and who can pick up the codes from the programming sites. Like if I forgot the syntax of Python, I can simply Google it, like generate random number between 1 and 3 in Python. But I will get it here. I will get multiple links that will help me out to generate the random numbers, and I can simply go with this. So going to do it here. I will generate random number in Python. Sorry for my bad internet connection. It's going worst now. Don't know what's the problem with my internet device. Generating a random number between 0 and 9. This can help me out by, if it is trying to generate from 0, I will just simply try to generate it from 1. I need random number between 1 and 3 to choose the turn of the player randomly. So here is the code. Print rand range 10. It will generate the random number between 0 and 9. So what I can do here is rand range 10. This, so we need to do it until 4, so it will generate the random number between 0 to 3, and actually I need from 1 to 3. I will add plus 1. It will generate number 0 to 2, and it will convert it to 1, 2 and 3. Simple it is. So turn will be decided randomly now. Like if I go there, what it will do, it will number of stones like 90, and what the hell, I have to import it here, like the import rand range from random. Import random is a module and rand range is a library, and I can simply from, actually it's from random. If I don't want to do this way, I can simply do it this way as well, like random dot rand range. It also works. So let me compile it again. It is asking me, so it is player 2's turn, which is decided randomly. Let me test it again. It is computer's turn. Then let me test it again. It is player 2's turn. Let me test it again. It is computer's turn. So it is always deciding the numbers randomly. Let me test it again. I think it is player 1's turn. So it is show that it is biased, and it is calculating the random. Definitely it is not going to mix the numbers actually. So then what we have to do, the number of stones should be entered by the first player actually. So what we should do it here, we need to put this statement actually here inside. Okay, inside, what inside mean, first of all, is to be played. I will set it is to true. I will set a flag to calculate the number of stones, at least one from the players. So the player going with the turn will always choose the number. First, let's do another thing first. I think I know don't need to do it here, because rand range which is already imported here. What I'm going to do next, first of all, next thing is the computer's turn. The computer's turn should not be inputted, it should be generated randomly. And how randomly it can be generated, we already have the code. This code generated random input between 1 and 3, same can be used here. This is the computer's turn. I will put simply code here and I will print message computer choose to withdraw, and I will show number of stones to withdraw. I will put it like, because I am concatenating it with a string, so stones. Okay, simple as it is. So now the computer will actually generate the stones itself. So let's play the game again. This is 50 players 2's turn. He is choosing 2. Now it will be play computer's turn. Computer choose to withdraw 3 stones. Then 4 player 2 choose. Computer choose to withdraw 1 stone. So it is working perfectly. But final thing remaining, only one thing remained here. And what is that one thing? That one thing is enter the number of stones should be entered from the very first player. But very first player mean? Very first player mean the player started the game actually. Which player started the game, that is decided here randomly. So where we this is the turn taking player, and I will put this code here as well because we are actually getting the number, going to decide the number of player, choose the player randomly. Let me remove this code there from here. From now we need to handle this code for the first player. So we will set a player is first turn, and it need to be set to true, and this need to be set here as well. When we are going to play the first game, actually the first player will always choose. If like we will do in every player's turn, what we will do, if it's player 1's turn, if it's player 2's turn, or if it's player 3's turn, so we will do if is first turn, is first turn, then we will ask the player to enter the number of stones actually, and meanwhile I will set is first turn to false. So don't do it again actually. Same thing need to be done for the second player. Okay, the second player will enter the number of stones, and same with the third player. For the computer, actually computer will consider there is a utility bill. Sorry guys, just got an email about my utility bill. It's like 5,000 rupees. That's crazy. Okay, for the computer's turn, I will again check if it's first turn, but for the computer I'm not going to do this shit. Computer will generate its number itself, so I will just put this here, and I will ask computer to generate number between 10 to 20, 10 to 100. That's great, that is good to go here. Let's do it here. And then now what I will do, actually I will tell the people as well what the computer actually chosen to do, and I will copy and print this statement inside here, and I will tell people computer choose to start with numstones. So let's play this again. I'm not sure how it's going to perform, but I think it will do it good. So player 2's turn, I'm starting with 20 stones. Okay, that is 1 3 3 3 3 3 2. Computer's turn, choose 3D. Computer won the game. Why to play? Actually I made a mistake. I should enter yes here. Let's start it again. Actually, here's how it helps us. Computer started the game. Computer chosen 104 stones in the start. Let me do it again. Now computer started again and computer started with 30 stones and withdrawn 3 stones. So I am doing withdraw 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Everyone is withdrawing 3 and check here, player 1 won the game. So this was the basic idea of making a NIMS game. This is called NIMS game and it is coded in Python. I'm not sharing this code snippet for now with you because I want you to code by your hand. Watch the video, code it in your own way. I would prefer you to make modules, and if you don't want to make modules, at least make functions. Like this code is redundant. This code is redundant. I can put all of codes in simpler functions and then I can reuse those functions. Like let me show you a simple function. Define function generate, like for the user take input of stones, and what it should do, it will just num is equal to input enter number of stones and it can simply return the num. This is easier way to do this, so we don't need to actually write this here. We can use a function, and if once we know that our function is robust, it is tested, it is working perfectly, we can simply rely on our function. It's ended for now. For our next lecture we will consider another famous program in Python, but for now it's okay. Have a great time. Post your questions in the comment section. I will be available to answer those questions. Again, have a great time. Thank you.